Hey everybody, Hunter Fisher, Trapper, Trader, Guide, Scout, and Interpreter, and just a country cook, Steve Hall, here in Nashville, Tennessee, along with the prettiest camera girl in the world. Hi, Sheila.
Hi.
You always do a great job on that camera.
Well, thank you.
Today we're going to have some fun. We're going to make a burger. We're going to make Wisconsin's #1 ranked burger, the Butter Burger from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And the #1 place to get it is at Solly's Grill in Milwaukee. Not Sally's, Solly's, S-O-L-L-Y''S. They're known for the Butter Burger. In fact, they even serve it for breakfast up there. Check them out online. You're going to just love it. So we're going to make it. We're going to try to get onions close to theirs, and everybody on YouTube tries to make onions close to the ones they make, but they got a secret recipe. We're going to try to get close, but the only way to really get that genuine taste is go to their restaurant. And of course, the star of the show from America's Dairyland in Wisconsin is butter, butter, and butter. Come on over, let's get started on our onions, and we're going to make Wisconsin's Butter Burger today. One of the components of this burger is their stewed onions. I'm going to turn this burner on now for the first time. It's not hot. I'm going to pour in 3 tablespoons of olive oil in there, and I'm just going to kind of dump everything in right away and incorporate it. I'm going to put in 1 full stick of salted butter because I'm not going to salt it. I'm going to let this butter do the salting. I'm going to pour in a little bit of white wine, maybe 1/8 of a cup, and about 1/4 of a teaspoon of black pepper. Looks like I'm kind of just getting ahead of myself, don't it? But that's what I'm going to do. Let me snag a spoon over here. And as soon as this stuff starts to melt enough so that my onions aren't going to be touching the bottom, which is about right now, I'm going to dump in 2 diced up sweet onions. I love Vidalias, but you can use any sweet onion you want. Now, I got to tell you, we're just trying to get close to their recipe. Nobody knows what it is because it's a secret family recipe, how they do their onions. And we're going to stew these or simmer them, but we're not going to caramelize them. We're going to just get them real nice and opaque and nice and soft. So as soon as this starts heating up, we're going to start reducing the heat way down to like low medium. As soon as I start seeing any kind of little simmer here. And then we're going to simmer these things for about 20 minutes. They cook their onions for a long time, 20 to 30 minutes, and you'll see how delicious these look once we get that. Let me warm this up a little bit and we'll get to the next step. All right, these just barely came to a simmer. I'm going to reduce the heat way down to like medium low. And to give these something to kind of simmer in for the next 20 minutes, we're going to add about 1/4 of a cup, no more than that, of chicken broth. Right there. Stir that all in. I'm going to bring my heat back up just for a second, just till it starts to simmer. Then we're going to turn it down, and we're going to let this just simmer and simmer and simmer for about, I would guess 10 to 15 minutes. In the last 5 minutes or so, we're going to pull the lid off and let some of that steam come out so it'll reduce. We'll see you in a little bit. Look what this reduces to. Man, oh man, that's after 20 minutes. Fantastic. Let me unplug this thing here. And I'm actually going to drain these a little bit. I'm going to pour them in this little colander over here. I'm probably blocking my camera shot. I should have did it the other way around, but and I'm just going to kind of stir them around. Perfect. Man, those turned out fantastic. Can you see that, Sheila?
Yeah, that's good.
They look great, don't they? Now it's time to work on the burgers. And let me show you my little tip here. Sheila, if I can hand this to you. Thank you very, very much. And let me grab these guys. Let me show you what I did. You're probably thinking I went out and bought these nice little store-bought flat burgers. But I didn't. A lot of fancy restaurants cook burgers that look like hockey pucks. But they don't do that up there at Solly's. They make them nice and flat, turn them over once. That's how they normally cook them in these fancy schmancy places. But if you're trying to flatten this out, you notice the edges always get these cracks in them and you got to keep trying to push and do the thing. Well, I came up with a little system here. Sheila helped me a little bit. She says, first of all, spray that wax paper. Let me put this right here, and let me show you my next step. Now, I will tell you, we used 1 pound of burger and cut it in 4 chunks, so these are 1/4 pounders, but we're actually going to get 5 out of there. I'm going to take a little bit of this spray and put it around the edge of my little bowl here. And let me show you what I did. I just laid this down between some wax paper and kind of mash it out until it gets nice and thin, like so. Then peel that back, put this little bowl right where it's not touching any of the edges, like so. And this is the 4th one that we've did, because I got 3 over there, and this is the little trim pieces from all 4 of them. So it's big enough to make 1 more out of the deal. Then I also do this. I grab this and kind of just go make little circles, and it'll compress the edges. You know how they tell you when you're making biscuits, don't turn it because it seals the edges? Turn it, because we want it to seal the edges. And bring it over to the edge so you can get a hold of the bowl here, and voila, look at my perfect little hamburger to flip onto the griddle, and all the edges are nice and solid. So let's get the griddle out here and we'll start cooking them. I just wanted to show you my little way of mashing them flat in between a couple pieces of wax paper and cutting it with a bowl. So, all right, let's go to the next step. All right, we're going to grill our buns first. We're putting real deal butter on here. Don't use margarine. That's a pity pat of poison. If you look on that margarine tub in your refrigerator, if you use margarine, man, oh man, some of the petroleum products that are actually in that margarine are the same petroleum products they use to make the tub that it goes in. That's true. The same plastic is in there. So get some good old-fashioned Wisconsin butter, or any butter anywhere. Look at the ingredients on butter. You know what it is? Cream and salt. Unless you're using unsalted butter, then it's just cream. So that's it. But the other one, you got to be a scientist to read all the ingredients. But let's get these browned up real nice here. And then we're going to let them kind of cool off to the side, because when we slather the butter on, we don't want it melt until we put it on top of our burgers. Let me get these done first. See you in a sec. Now, the center of a bun never wants to get brown, so you got to kind of push down on the center of the top. So if it looks a little wrinkled later on when we have it plated up, that's because I'm pushing down on it. Let me check these guys in the back here. Oh yeah. Now, Sheila likes her buns toasted top and bottom, so we're going to turn this over. I wonder if I should hit that with just a little bit of butter on top if she wants the top toasted as well.
Now we're talking.
Okay, all right, see, I knew it. Take a peek. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Look at that one. This guy here, I think I'm going to move him off to the side. There's our bottom halves. Now see, he could have used a little more in the middle, but I'm going to go ahead and do the top first. Let's see if we can't get our burger started. We ended up with 5 burgers out of that pound of meat, but we're only going to cook 2 of them for the recipe so we can show you. And I am going to hit these with just a touch of garlic powder. I don't need any other seasoning because we got plenty of seasoning in the butter, plenty of seasoning in the onions, and we're going to put some cheese on here. Now, they make several different butter burgers up there, some with cheese, some without. So let me go ahead and turn this guy back over. Well, he still could use some more, so I'm going to leave this on here. I do want to get that bottom seared up. Now it's time to break out my connection with Wisconsin. As long as we're frying these, this baby's been hanging back here on the wall for a while. I got this from my grandkids. Packers Flipper Flopper here, man, oh man, that's the time to get it out to do this Wisconsin butter burger. I've got to finally break the spatula. Ooh, that looks good, Sheila. All right, let me turn this one back over now. Hey, that turned out good in the middle. Let me hit the top a little bit more. Now, I'm actually going to turn these a couple of times. I think they turn theirs like once. And I smash them. Just like that Green Bay Packer defensive line. See, people are saying, you're from Minnesota, how come you're for Green Bay? Well, my dad was a Packer fan. So if you grow up in a family of Packer fans, you'll probably become one too. And I love the Vince Lombardi story that I seen years ago. Ernest Borgnine played in it. Showed how he passed up a chance to be a head coach for another team to stay with the Packers and took them to the first Super Bowl and all that stuff. Plus, I used to play in Wisconsin, Jerry's Country Sound in Shawano, Wisconsin. And we used to go up to the Menominee Indian Reservation, and if you check out our channel, you'll see that we do have a fry bread recipe on there. And my first experience with fry bread was up on the Menominee Indian Reservation, and those pretty little Indian gals made fry bread and chili, and oh, it was so good I had to figure out what the recipe was. And they won't really tell you. It's just a little salt, a little milk, a little flour, a little lard, a few other little things. But I finally wrangled the recipe out of somebody, and it's on our channel. And then my other connection, that's Green Bay. Talking about the Packers. But my other connection, other than Green Bay or Shawano, with Milwaukee, is I rode Harleys when we were kids in high school. I had a 58 Panhead, believe it or not, that I bought from the Harley dealer in St. Cloud for $1,000 back in the early 70s when I was in high school. That's right, they sold it for $1,000 because it wasn't worth anything back then. Now it'd be worth about $35,000, and I sold it about a year later for $1,000 so I could buy a car, because it's hard to date girls on a motorcycle. All right, it's time for this. But I had a 58 Panhead, my brother had a 71 XLCH Sportster, and my old man had a 67 Electroglide. We were all Harley family. And I remember that the neighbor kid, he rode some other kind of bike. Al Kerr was the guy's name. He had a 500 Kawasaki. He said, "You think everybody's that crazy about Harley Davidson?" I said, "Have you ever in your entire life ever met anybody with a Honda Goldwing tattoo?" I said, "Me neither." I rode some of that Milwaukee Iron when I was younger. In fact, I had a 91 and a 92 Harley Fat Boy also. I want to make sure these got done all the way through. And now it's time for their magic onions drained out of here. We want to put the onions on first. A lot of recipes I see they put the cheese on first, but that's not how they do it. At Solly's, they put the onions on first and they let them onions cook down into the meat. And they put the cheese on top the onions. Looky here, looky here. I just want to take a mouthful of them onions. They are so delicious. And again, it's kind of like poking and hoping. I'm not sure that this is even close to their recipe, but I do know that they kind of maybe do some wine and they do a little of this, a little olive oil and that stuff. So I'm just trying to get close. But if you want the authentic flavor of that burger, you got to go to Solly's. Sheila, I need you to run in the kitchen and grab my cheese. No, it's right there. It's right there. I'm sorry. Thank you very much, Sheila. I appreciate that. I thought I left it in the kitchen. I laid it off to the side here. Now it's time for the cheese. We're going to pop a little lid on these to help steam these rascals. I got two uneven pans here, but I don't care. I'm going to pour a little water alongside of it, and this is going to help melt that cheese so good. Let me go ahead and turn the burner off here. This griddle doesn't even need to be plugged in no more because it's done. Let me take a little peek in there. Oh, pretty close. Oh, looking good, looking good. Look at that. Man, the butter burger from Wisconsin is getting close to being completed. But here's the part That doesn't need to scare you off. Let me move this out of the way and get this plate back here. Now remember I told you that I let these cool earlier, and here's the reason. They really put butter thick. They slather it on. I mean thick on top of their 1/4 inch minimum on their butter burgers. And here's something else. I see a lot of people, when they do the recipe, they pop it on top and then they stand there and talk for a little bit and tell you how it soaks through and all that stuff. I want to cut it right away because I don't want anything flying off to the side. So as soon as I put that butter on top, I'm going to cut this burger in half. And then I'll still let it sit there and ooze together. I just don't want to give that butter a chance to soften everything up before I can turn it like this, open this up like that, put it like this, open it up like that. Let me get my little fork over here. I'm sorry. That is fantastic. And look at the butter and the cheese and all the ooiness going down through there, cooked with my little Packer Whapper. It's time for some chips. I think they're over here to make our little plate. What do you think, Sheila?
That looks really good.
It does look good. You've been so quiet during the process of this. Of course, I've been talking a lot about my connection with Green Bay and Milwaukee and Shawano, and toured a lot, worked a lot of them beer joint nightclubs up around that neck of the woods. Had some good times. And what do you think? Look at the butter. Let me get a shot of this real quick. I keep nibbling. And that's the funnest part. This recipe, you have to go to Solly's in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and go in, and they even serve them for breakfast. Get a butter burger, and they'll give you lots of napkins. Can you get a shot of that, Sheila?
Yeah, we need to even it up there a little bit.
Uh-oh, what's crooked?
The sandwiches.
The sandwiches?
Hamburgers.
Okay, what do they need to be over this way, like this and like that?
Yes.
Is that any better?
Yes.
Is that, okay. That's my little director girl right there. Boy, I've been waiting for this, and I got some paper towels ready. This one looks so good over here, this little half a burger. Looky there with the cheese and the butter, and oh man, Wisconsin, Solly's Grill from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, butter burger. Oh my Lord. If you love butter, and you love onions, and you love cheese, and you love hamburgers, and you love Wisconsin, you're going to love this Wisconsin butter burger from Solly's Grill. And one other shout out to Green Bay, Wisconsin. Went through there a few times back years ago, and the number 3 ranked tattoo artist in the world, his name is Rick Harnowski, and it's Tattoos by Rick in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Let me tell you how good he is. He tattoos about half of the Green Bay Packers go in there to get all their tattoo work. So I stopped there years ago, and he put little Shotgun Red over here. And my cousin Jeff Hall always had a beautiful petaled rose on his arm. So he put a big, beautiful petaled rose on this arm with a rattlesnake wrapped around it. Kind of shows the good and the bad of everything. Man, it just looks beautiful. He took third by tattooing a Harley-Davidson V-twin engine on a guy's back. All the fins, all the push rods, all the screws on the primary case, everything tattooed. He speaks with an accent because he's Rick Harnowski. He's either from Poland or Czechoslovakia, but it's Tattoos by Rick from Green Bay, Wisconsin. No one else will put tattoos on me but him. But you say hi to Rick. You get in there, stop at Tattoos by Rick, Say hi to him, Rick Karnowski. And if you're ever thinking about getting a tattoo, he is the best. Well, he's ranked 3rd in the world. That's close enough for me. Man, I'll tell you, I hope you enjoy our recipe. I hope you enjoy this Wisconsin butter burger. And we really hope you subscribe to our channel. Little Shotgun Red's face will pop up over here in a little bit. When it does, click on it when it says subscribe. Right next to it will be a bell. When you click on that, they'll notify you every time we come out with a new recipe. We're going to put another series of recipes over here. You can click on this playlist. It'll drop down. And is this the most delicious butter burger from Solly's Grill in Milwaukee, Wisconsin you ever ate in your entire life? Boy, if it ain't, it ought to be. This is Steve Hall in Nashville, Tennessee, saying always remember that our recipes are right under the video. Just look under the video where it says show more. Click on that when it drops down. Highlight it and print it out. But if you are snooping around, you never have to go to a blog or our website to get those recipes. They'll always be real handy for you right there. But if you are snooping around, stop at shotgunred.com and check out our little Shotgun Red dolls and our videos and all our other goodies. And we'll see you next time right here on Cooking with Shotgun Red. Are you ready to have a butter burger, Sheila?
I am.
These look so delicious. We'll see you next time right here on Cooking with Shotgun Red. Go Packers. Man, this just flattened them just like that defense from the Green Bay Packers. It was great. We'll see you next time.